Hey there. Today I wanted to talk about how reconciling your bank statement can protect your business, plus a bonus tip at the end. My name is Honey Bueno. I am the CEO of Tracking Transactions. We specialize in bookkeeping for insurance agencies using a system called Applied Epic. All right, as you know, as a business owner, you need to be reconciling your bank statements monthly, and this can protect you because this helps you have the accurate information when you're matching up your bank statement to your accounting system, and you're looking at all the income coming in and all the expenses going out, and you're checking it off to verify that everything matches. And this way, you'll have the most accurate reporting. So I have some tips to share in case you have an employee who does this for you or you outsource your bookkeeping. So tip number one would be that you want to keep your checkbook locked up with limited staff access. So you'll definitely want to make sure you do that. Tip number two is do not use a signature stamp. So the reason why you don't want to use a signature stamp is because you're going to want to verify, which is in step number three, verify that the invoice or the statement that you're paying, that everything matches on the check. So what you're looking for is that the dollar amount matches the invoice, as well as the payee and the address that the check is going to. So if your employee is reconciling your bank statements, then what you're going to want to do is take an extra step to audit the bank statement. So some steps you can do to audit the bank statement would be step number one is you're going to want to go online and get the bank statement yourself. So it has to be you because then you know that the document is not altered in any way. So get the bank statement and then you're going to log into your accounting system. Step number two would be that you want to verify, just audit. So you're just picking some off of the bank statement, some income, and you're going to verify that it's in your system. So just pick a few, make sure the dollar amounts match. Then you're going to do the same thing with any of the withdrawals or the debit card purchases. Going to do the same thing, just kind of looking those over, seeing if they're in alignment with what you're expecting, and then just auditing that they're in your accounting system. Now, step number four, what you're going to want to do is actually look at the bank image that's on the bank statement. And then you're going to look at what's in your accounting system. So let's say you have an invoice in your accounting system. It says to Jake's Plumbing, it's check number 101. You look at the check number on your bank statement, check number 101. You look at the image, but instead of Jake's Plumbing, it might say Saks Fifth Avenue. So if that's the case, that's a really good sign that there's a problem and that you're going to need to do a little bit of investigating. And so I have a bonus tip here. This is going to be called, it's on invoice inflating. So I hadn't heard of that before until I started reading this book. And so actually I'm reading the book right now. It's called Embezzlement. It's How to Detect, Prevent, and Investigate Pink Collar Crime. And it's by Kelly Paxton. And in the book, she talked about invoice inflating. She gave the story. So let's just use in our example, I talked about Jake's Plumbing. So let's say that your employee took that invoice for Jake's Plumbing. Let's say it was really for $300, but they actually were able to alter the invoice. So now the invoice says $450. They gave you the invoice and the check, and you see that everything matches. So you sign the check over to Jake's Plumbing, not knowing that the invoice was even altered. So then Jake's Plumbing calls the office and says, can I talk to someone in your accounting department? So your employee gets that call and they just, they tell them, well, you guys overpaid the invoice, so we're going to send you the money back. So your employee says, oh, thanks for letting us know. Since we're in COVID right now, there's not very many people going to the office. So would it be okay if you just deposit that into our bank account? So they say, okay. So your employee gives a bank account number, but they're not giving the business account number. They're actually giving their own personal account number. And so then Jake's Plumbing unknowingly just refunds the money to your employee. And so that is called invoice inflating. And so what is a tip to manage that? there's a couple of things. One would be like, if you have a bad feeling or a weird feeling about an invoice, then check it, right? Check it out. Another thing would be just to do what you do with your bank statements and just pick a handful of invoices, some high dollar, some low dollar, and call up the vendor and say, hey, I have invoice number 1234. Could you verify the amount that we owe? And then see what they say. And hopefully everything just matches fine and you have no issues. But as long as you're spot checking, and even if your staff knows that you're spot checking, that's good, because that then it's least likely that they're going to try to commit any type of fraud. So I hope these tips were helpful for you. And I know that bank reconciling, it's a little bit time consuming, takes extra work, but in the end, it really does protect you when you do reconcile your bank statements. So let me know in the comments if you have any questions or if you found this helpful. Also in the comments, I'm going to include a link to my friend's book called Embezzlement. So I thank you very much and take care.